Okay, we're going to call the special city council meeting order Monday, September 19th, 4 p.m. Roll call. Kirby Moyna.
Tom Marzluck.
Sam Solars.
Nicole Andrea.
David Paradise.
Jessica Valuel.
Dan Reamer.
Michael Summerfield.
Need to approve the agenda.
So moved.
I'll second.
Further discussion? Mr. Paradise.
Aye.
Ms. Andrea.
Aye.
Mr. Solars.
Aye.
Mr. Marzlick.
Aye.
I'll vote yes. Motion passes 5-0 to approve the agenda. Business 2023 preliminary budget and levy. Michael.
Mayor and council, in front of you is what should look familiar from our workshop last week, the proposed options as directed from council on potential budget for 2023. So as we discussed, depending on what we would increase or decrease, all of the proposals in front of you would equate to a tax rate decrease due to our larger taxable tax capacity. So what city staff is looking for is a direction on which proposal you'd like to go with, if one of these or with something else. So we can go forward with that for the preliminary budget and send it up to the county.
For the second option, which is the 48.86%, it says that we're decreasing the capital improvement. What specifically were we decreasing in that, just in general?
Yeah. So it would be a decrease from what we budgeted last year. So it would simply be, last year we increased the capital improvement by about $100,000 with a fraction of a percent increase in the rate, very small fraction. So cutting out that $100,000 increase to capital improvement, that would be the numbers for that proposal.
So
we would still be putting in $250,000 from the local government assistance. The LGA would be going into that. But again, that's just the decrease is just a decrease from what
was previously budgeted. In the second proposal, will that still have that other $100,000 for the regional park?
Yes, that would keep our funding for the regional park the same as last year. So it would be $150,000 to regional park development.
Well, I'd like to reiterate what I said at the last meeting. You know, sometimes city governments or county governments will kick things down the road because they just want to kick things down the road and let somebody else assume responsibility for it. And in other cases, they kick things down the road because they don't have the finances or resources to accomplish what they need to accomplish. I think at this point in time, since we have such a high tax value in the city of Montrose because of all the additional houses going in, I would recommend we go with the third option, the 12%, the $1.9 million option, to have that money in the bank, so to speak, because things are rapidly changing in the city, and we certainly don't want to get caught with our trousers down around our ankles.
I'll agree with you there, Tom. I do think that, you know, there has been some kicking of the can on multiple things, and, you know, there have been some very good improvements this year with what we've done with the streets and stuff like that. I think that there's a lot more projects ahead of us, whether it be, you know, water treatment, wastewater, you know, more infrastructure like that. I think we need to be gearing up for that. We need to be looking not only just, you know, 1 to 5 years, but 20, 30 years down the road here. And I don't think we need to set people up for success, whoever's in this chair. I think we need to make sure that we're ready to go.
Yeah, I also agree. Spent most of the weekend going through the capital improvement plan and just looking at things that are on this list. Yeah, I mean, again, stuff being kicked down the road, and at some point, someone's gotta stop kicking the can, and, you know, whether it be us or somebody else, but there's a lot of things that are gonna be coming due here that we need to start taking accountability for, whether it be.
That's kind of why I was asking about where the 100,000 was coming out of, because I like the middle option with the 48%, but I would rather have that money go to capital improvement versus to the regional park, and especially since we don't know what we can even do out at the regional park at this point.
Another option that I could prepare, or that we wouldn't necessarily need it typed out, if you instruct me to go with lowering the amount that we're putting into the regional park, which had been proposed at lowering that from 150,000 to 10,000. We could lower that 140,000, and then we could keep the capital improvement increase of 100,000, or if you wanted to increase it, I could run any of those numbers.
In that option though too, didn't we have, there was another 40,000 going towards the improvement of parks in general?
We did divert funds into, it's one of the line items
Yep.
in parks. All of these proposals, proposals include, that's what I showed with the increase in park buildings. So that's constant across, even if we were to put the money in the top proposal here, the most expensive proposal, keeping the funding of the regional park the same, this still includes increasing funding for remodeling or building park structures on our other parks.
Yeah, as far as the regional park goes, my opinion, regional park is that we are years away from ever developing that regional park.
Right.
So let's take the money that we set aside for regional park, and can we put it in the capital improvements?
It sits in regional park right now. Council can transfer funds from anywhere.
Okay, maybe could we submit the budget with the extra 140 in capital improvements?
You could.
Yeah.
And no matter what, we're lowering the tax amount in Montrose, regardless of what option we use,
The tax rate in all of these scenarios
goes down.
brings the tax rate down. And that's in addition to all parcels will no longer have an assessment for fire service. So that's included in all of these proposals.
I myself was just looking at the second option, because any extra dollars that we could save the residents on their taxes from us, it's gonna help them with the county increasing their taxes all the time at large rates, and the school district increasing theirs. But no matter what, we're lowering ours. But the third option, I think that $2, no one will notice $2, but they might notice an extra $60 that goes towards their other, but.
Well, you do have to remember, it is $2 plus the $150 from the fire department assessment, so there is that. So I mean, right off the bat, by absorbing and doing what we needed to do with the fire department, we're already bringing it down $150 right there, which is incredible in my mind. But then also adding whatever cost saving we can. I just think that, you know, we need to really prepare for what this town needs and what we can do, and I think that we can show the savings there right away. Even if it just says, you know, line by line here, again, if we go through and let people know that $150 assessment is built into this, that's going to show a lot.
And this is spoken by a man who's running for office.
I got nothing to hide.
We can always go down too in December. We can't go up from where we're at, but we can always go down.
That's the other thing too, is we can always, you know, bring it down, but I don't want to submit something where we have to go up, but we can't. You know, we can always reshuffle before December, obviously, but I think that going at this rate at least gives us a solid base for next year.
One more thing that I would consider as far as keeping the regional park development funded, at least through this preliminary phase, is council just approved those core samples, and if the core samples come back positive across the board, except for where it has already been proposed, then you still have that flexibility in this budget to have money in that fund. And if they come back bad, even if this made it all the way to the final budget, you would still have, council prerogative to move any funding if you're looking for more funding in capital improvement, or if we hit more items off of that CIP and need more funding, and by that point, maybe there's a death sentence for certain parts of the proposed regional park. Putting it in there initially wouldn't keep it there if council's intentions change based on information coming from the engineers.
We should have an answer before December, correct?
I would think so.
On what we can do, so I mean, it gives us the opportunity at that point to reevaluate what we can do at the regional park,
And when?
and when.
And then, if we're still moving forward with the park shelter, we still need to come up with another, what, $200,000
Yeah.
close? Or 160, something like that?
I mean, we haven't had bids come in concrete yet, so we don't exactly know, but from what they kind of guesstimated that would be, yes,
Well, it would be higher than the last time.
Mhm.
could be.
And a lot obviously hinges on those samples.
Yeah, I was quite surprised, we had a resident speak up against building a park shelter. Well,
Are there any questions in regards to the budget for Michael while he's here?
I'm just keeping it open that if it is the case that you would like to increase one and decrease another that isn't in one of these three proposals, I could juggle those numbers and get you figures, I mean, even while this meeting goes on, if we'd like to make a correction, or if you're pushing for one level to go up and one level to go down that aren't on here, and the rest of the council is going in that direction.
My big thing is that, we already have some money in the regional park fund, but I would just like to see some of that $100,000 that going from 150 down to 10, with 40 going to other parks, that other 100,000 going to capital improvements, so that we can use it for other improvements that are gonna have to be in the city in general. Because there are, our wastewater treatment plant is almost at capacity. We need a water filtration plant at some point.
And with those plants also, those are going to have to be funded through, some of it can be funded
Wastewater.
through the water and wastewater plants. Those
Right.
have to come through revenue sources.
it's enterprise funds. Well, we know what the core samples are going to have in store for us, so, I would recommend we adopt the third option, the 1.9 million. And then, before we finalize the budget in December, we could potentially move the 150 from regional park development, move 40 of it into parks to improve the quality of the existing parks, and the other 110 move it into capital improvement. That's what I would see.
We play around with where the money is in the budget before December. We just got to improve. We just have to approve it.
We just couldn't go over that.
A tax rate,
1902.
a tax rate right now that we're going to go forward with.
Right. Well, do we need a motion? We need a motion.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to adopt the 1.9, $1,902,857 budget for 2023, allowing room before December to make a couple of adjustments to the not the final number, but where the money is moved around.
I will second.
Further discussion on the motion? Any other questions on the budget? Mr. Solars?
Aye.
Mr. Marslick?
Aye.
How about aye? Mr. Paradise?
Aye.
Ms. Andrioff?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Resolution 2022-28.
Good job putting this all together, Michael.
Thank you.
You can understand.
Mayor and Council, the remaining two resolutions are simply to lower how much we'll need to levy for two of our bonds, the 2017A and the 2021A. They're levied, the proposed levy is based on figures that come out when the loans originated, and they're based on a levy at 105%. And now that they're being paid off, what we actually need is less than that, and we have to have a resolution that corrects that number to lower that levy.
Will those debts drop off then after this? Is this paying them off?
No, both of these are ongoing, it's just this year's portion
What
of
you have
that
to pay
payment
is
is
lower.
slightly lower than what was initially conceived when the loans were taken out.
I'll make a motion to go ahead and approve resolution 2022-28 to decrease levy for street reconstruction bond, 2017A.
I'll second. Further discussion? Ms. Andrioff?
Aye.
Mr. Paradise?
Aye.
Mr. Solars?
Aye.
Mr. Marslick?
Aye.
I'll vote yes, motion passes 5-0.
And then that would go as well for resolution 2022-29. This is for the 2021A bond for downtown improvement project. So that payment going back this year will be $61,465 lower than the anticipated levy that was at 105%.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2022-29.
I'll second.
You got it.
Further discussion? I'll vote yes. Mr. Marslick?
Aye.
Mr. Solars?
Aye.
Mr. Paradise?
Aye.
Ms. Andrioff?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I will second.
Mr. Paradise?
Aye.
Mr. Solars?
Aye.
Mr. Marslick?
Aye.
Ms. Andrioff?
Aye.
I'll vote yes. Motion passes 5-0. We're adjourned.
All righty.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you all.